Hi, welcome to the SEO Basics webinar. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Isn't that often how we feel about those three letters SEO? We don't know entirely what they mean. We know that when people talk about them, there's usually a large amount of money attached to it. Well, we're going to feel the fear. We're going to do it anyway. And over the next hour, we're going to take a look at things you can do with your SEO on your website to grow your business. So who am I? I am Katrina. Hello. I am the founder of Words for Wellness. I'm a copywriter. I write words that sell. I am a content writer, so I write words that connect. I'm an SEO geek and I am a total marketing psychology nerd. As I said, we've got about an hour together. We're going to whip through the SEO basics. We're going to cover what is SEO? Should I care? Why does it scare us? How you can use SEO to grow your business, and we're going to go through some tips for e-commerce websites as well and look at what you should be doing next. So let's start with the basics. What is SEO anyway? Three letters, SEO, search engine optimization, which are the fancy words of saying the things that you can do on your website and your blog and your product pages to help the search engines find it and read it. So essentially, SEO is just another tool we have to attract clients and grow our business. So should you care? Oh yes, we should care. Why? Because more and more people are online. And in fact, as I record this in May 2020, we know what's happened in 2020. More and more people are having to be online because we can't get physically in front of people. So the number of Google searches each second is nearly 83,000. So that's nearly 30 billion searches every day. And we talk a lot about Google when we talk about search engines. There are other search engines available, but 90% of searches are made on Google. So you'll hear me talking about Google. I can mean anyone. So you may be looking at Bing, for example, instead. So think about what Google is. It's an information provider. You have a question that your partner or your kids can't answer for you. So what do? You go on, you ask Dr. Google, you ask Professor Google, you ask Teacher to Google, and you see what the answer is. So think of the last time you had a question. Who did you ask? And the likelihood is it was a search engine. So search engines help you find information and answers to your questions. They also help you navigate your way to a website that you're specifically looking for. So you may be looking for the Smithsonian Museum to see if they've got virtual tours that you can take your kids on. You may be looking for an Adidas website or Amazon. Search engines can also help you buy what you're looking for. So you can find retailers, you can find online stores. They also allow you to compare prices and features of products, and they help you find something that's local to you. So, should you care? Well, if people are searching the internet for information you provide, and you want to grow your business by getting in front of more potential clients, the closer you are to the top of that first page of search results, the more people will find you. Because look at this. 75% of people never search past page 1 of the search results. Think about it. When was the last time you hopped on a computer or onto your cell phone and you kept scrolling and you got to a little bit and it said more? Or on your computer you hit the next page. Very rarely does it happen. I do it quite often when I'm researching, but if I'm looking for something personally, it's very rare that I'd go past page 1. So the closer you are, the better. But it's scary, isn't it? And this is a feedback I get from loads of people, is there's something about SEO that just scares us. And there are 4 main reasons for that I've kind of come across over the years. It uses words that sound technical and we don't know what they mean. It's like any specialist industry. It's got its own language. And the problem with SEO is it's got a very technical language. It's like when people go to the doctors and the doctor uses long words. It's exactly the same. It makes us feel uncomfortable. But because everybody is banding these words around like SEO, and people think that we should know what it is, we get confused and we get scared. The other thing is it involves lots of abbreviation because the words are long and technical. So we say things like SEO and we assume that people know what it means. The other thing I found is if you go on YouTube and you look at any of the SEO videos, they are pretty much all taught by hyperactive young men. Okay, young depends on how old you are on the scale, but you're usually faced with men who are so enthusiastic and tell you about everything. And it's a bit overwhelming, especially if you're a female business owner. I get quite overwhelmed by some of the things they say. And again, it seems to put it a bit out of my reach. The other problem we have is that anytime you put the letters SEO together, then you seem to attract dollar signs. There seems to be a stupid amount of money asked for when it comes to SEO. Part of it is right, because if you get your SEO right, the value to your business can be immense. It's also a long game. You don't really get quick fixes from SEO, but your business is going to be around for the long haul. The main reason why SEO seems so scary to people is that we tend to start at the hardest part rather than the easiest bits. So we're not often aware of the easy bits and the things that also factor in on SEO. So when we think about SEO, we think about coding and all the technical bits. That's the hardest part. What we're going to be going through is the easy parts. So the bottom line is you want to grow your business. You want to attract more clients and you want to use SEO to do this. So how can you? Think about SEO as a means to an end. It's a way of getting more people to your site, but you just don't want more people on your site. You want more of the right people. So you need to know how to attract the right people to your site, and you need to work out who the right people are and how you help them. So before you even get started with the official bits of SEO, there's a couple of things to do. First thing you need to do is create your own brand message. And what I mean by that is a statement about who you help, how you help them, and what you help them achieve. Get clear about it. So make sure you're not using waffly words like, oh, I help people transform their lives. You may do, but tell us a bit more. Whose lives do you transform? How do you transform them? What does that transformation look like in their lives? So really get clear about it. So you know what your business is there for and who you are there to help. The third thing before you get started on the official bits is to decide the goals that you want your website to achieve for your business. Your website is another tool to grow your business. So what do you want it to do? Do you want people to buy the products from your website? Do you want them to contact you? Do you want them to make a booking? Do you want to provide them with information? So knowing your goals and the goals that you want your website to achieve will help decide what needs to be there and what needs to be going on with the SEO. Here is a really good picture that I love. It's from the moz.com website, so that's M-O-Z. And if you're in the wellness field, you may have heard something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And it's basically a way of demonstrating that there are certain things that need to happen before something else happens in our life. So we need to feel safe. Once we feel safe, we can then go and build relationships. We can succeed, we can do all these things, and it's just the same for SEO. Moz is one of the top 3 SEO tools in existence, and what they've done is they've come up with this awesome way of demonstrating that there is a hierarchy of needs. So there's a really strong foundation levels that you need to build before you go on to the next step. So I'm going to break this down for you. There are 7 levels on that pyramid. The first one, which is that really strong base, is something called crawlability. And I am really sorry to start with such a technical name, but once I describe it to you, then you'll understand that that's just a perfect way of describing it. So that's the first thing, that's the foundation of all your SEO. The next stage of SEO is your content, then the keywords, your user experience, sharing links. There's some behind the scenes stuff that needs to go on too, but the technical and the coding stuff is that tiny little snippet right at the top. but that's where we tend to focus. The other 6 we need to get sorted before we even go there, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So much of it you can do yourself, you may even be doing already. So there is no point heading straight for number 7 and paying somebody to do all the coding work in the background if you've not got the basics right. So let's set some good foundation, and this is my idea of crawlability. Babies, they've got to crawl before they walk. Well, some actually go straight to walking, but it's really good for our body, for our structure, if we can crawl first. So what are we talking about when we're talking crawling in SEO? Let me describe it to you. So the role of the internet search engines is to find your website, okay? Learn what's in it and store that information, so that when someone searches for an answer, it knows you can provide the answer. So the very first thing we need to do is make sure that the search engine kind of bots, those little computer programs, can find you. They can crawl around your site and they can index what's there and store that information. So essentially, they are miniature computerized librarians. So that when somebody asks a question, they've got the information from your website, they can pull it out and they can present it as an answer. So, to crawl your website and get that information, the search engine bots, these little computer program robots, need to first of all find you. Okay, so this is where that name World Wide Web actually comes into its own. Think of the internet like a massive interlinked web. That's what it is. But if the thread of the net doesn't go to you, how can these little computer program bots find you? So the very first thing you need to do is make sure your website is linked to at least one other website that's linked to others. So the information thread leads the bots to your website. If you've got an existing website, it's likely that you've already got this bit ticked. You've ticked the box on this. If you've got a brand new website, go and check and tick the box. So how do you create this thread to your website? How do you create the first links? Easy as create a Facebook, an Instagram or a LinkedIn account. Put your website link in the About section and bingo, you are linked in. Other things you can do are get listed on directory sites like Neighbourly, Natural Health Pages, any directory site that's associated with your business. Another thing you can do is create a Google My Business account. Now, we're not going to cover that here. That's a whole different chunk of information. But there you are directly linking yourself in to Google, the ultimate place to be. So you're creating links into your website so the little programs can get to you. How can you help the search engines crawl your website? Well, yay, the bots have found you. They need to be able to see what's there. So make sure that every page links to at least one other page on your site. If you think of your website like a conversation, then a conversation flows from topic to topic, and that's the same that you should be able to link from one page to another page to another page. Other things just to be aware of is that if content is hidden behind a paywall, so if you've got blogs or courses or videos, anything like that that is hidden behind in a membership site or needs a password to access, it can't and won't be read by the bots. Okay, so that's something important to remember. That's why it's a good idea to have really good quality content on your general website. So that's especially important if you've got membership sites. The other thing is to make sure that you've allowed the robots to index your pages. So for example, in WordPress, make sure that you go into settings and there's a box called Search Engine Visibility. Make sure it is not checked, and by not checking that box, you are allowing the robots to go and have a nice little wander through your website and collect information of what's there. You can hide pages on purpose, and we cover a bit later on. The main reasons that you do that are if you've got very low word counts on there, if it's old information but you don't want to remove the page, But that's something that we are best leaving to the experts. So now you've made sure your website can be crawled. That's the foundation. You're ready to build on it. And the next step up is looking at your content. So people. We're not writing for bots, we're writing for people, because it's people who we help. So when they get to our website, we've got to give them a reason to stay. Creating compelling content comes from knowing your clients and creating content that they want. Not the robots, the people. So before you go any further with SEO, you need to be able to answer these questions. Who is my dream client or customer? What do they want from me? How do I provide this? How does my website help me provide this help? And what do I want my website to do? Once you've answered those, you can answer some more questions. Who is looking for your help? What are they looking for? Why are they looking for your help? When are they looking? So is it seasonal? Do you have products or services that are linked to, say, Christmas, summer holidays? Where are they? Are they local, national, international? How are they searching? What words are they using? Are they on mobile phone or are they on PC? And how can you provide this content in the way that they want? So, relevant, compelling, SEO content should be presented in a way your dream client wants it, easy to appreciate, easy to view or read, and kept up to date. So let's go into that in a bit more detail. We want to present it in a way that our dream client wants it. What does that mean? That means that if we think about our dream clients, we know a lot about them. You've just answered 2 pages of questions all about them, and I want you to write down the answers because it gives you a heap of really good information. Do they want videos? How do they want the videos? Do they want them short or long? Do they want subtitles or not? Do they want blogs? Do they want podcasts? Do they want tables giving comparisons? Do they want checklists? How do they want the information that's going to give them value? It's easy to appreciate, and what I mean by that is it is on a professional looking website. It's got good graphics in there. It is easy when you bring it up on your cell phone. It looks good. It's got enough space around it so you can read it clearly. Those visuals are all there. We want to make sure it's easy to view or read. So, even though you may be writing for the brightest minds in the universe, everybody consumes information much more easily when it's written simply, clearly, and easily. So, make sure you're writing for your audience, using your voice, using their words, but write it so it's easy for them to understand. Kept up to date. So, there's a couple of angles of this on your content. Now, let's talk about it first of all from the SEO program robots. What do they want? They want to see that your site is being updated frequently. It contains up-to-date, relevant information. And how does it do that? Often by using blogs on your site, which is why I am a massive fan of having a blog on your business site. So by publishing regular blogs, you can show the search engine robots that your website is relevant, it's up to date, and it's being shown some love. For your people, for your dream client, we want it kept up to date because you're giving them regular information, you're giving them value, you're giving them touch points with you, you're addressing things that might be relevant, that might be current, and you're giving them regular content. Again, other touch points to come in and purchase from you. So all that content that we're developing is for these people. It's value for them. It's what we have on our service pages. It's what we have on our blogs. It's how our homepage is. It's all this information that helps somebody stay on our page. And when they stay on our website, it influences the bots again. So we show the people that we get them and that we present content that they want. And because they are staying longer, The search engine bots realize this and they go, oh, there must be some good stuff on there. And so they rank us higher. How did that sound? Did that sound very technical? Were there lots of words that you didn't understand? These are probably a lot of things that you are doing already. So already you are doing things that will help you optimize or help the search engines find you. This is where the technical words start coming in, and we're going to talk about things called keywords now. So it's time to focus on certain words that we use when we create this content. So what are keywords? They are the words that our dream client uses to describe what they're looking for. They're the words they'll type into Google and hope to get the answers they need. Those are keywords, but don't be misled. It's not just words, they can be phrases. So you may put in SEO, but you may also write in, how can SEO help me grow my business? Which is really long. And if you have a blog on your website called, how can SEO help me build my business? Then the search engines know that they're looking for something very specific. If you just put in SEO, you will find a heap of stuff. So there is a great value in these phrases, these key phrases, or another way of saying it is long tail keywords. So where do we begin? Well, first of all, we need to create lists of keywords, and we create them for each page of our website, not the website as a whole. And when you create this list of words that people may use to find the information that you give them, think about how your dream client would say it. Not you, but them. So focus on the visitor to your page and what they intend to do with that information. Write a list of really obvious words. So, for example, you're a organic farmer, and you've got an orchard, you've got a page on your website and you're selling organic fruit. So the obvious word is organic fruit. And then they can create a list of other words which are similar to this. So, for example, spray-free fruit, organic produce, organic fruit delivery. So they're all similar words which build and build and build, so you have quite a range of these keywords. So now you've found the words that your dream client's looking for and hoping to find you, it's time to narrow down that list. There may be some keywords in your industry that are being hogged by the big companies or that everyone is trying to be listed for. These are called competitive keywords. There may be keywords that are looked for more than others, and this is what we call keyword volume. So there's more volume of people looking for those words. But remember, they're more likely to be phrases than single words. The trick is to find moderate to low competitive keywords, so not a lot of people are using them, but they've got a high volume. Lots of people are searching for those words or those phrases. How do we do it? Well, luckily, there are some keyword research tools that help us identify more words and more phrases and see what's competitive and what's less competitive and give us some ideas. There are 3 very good free search tools. One is Ubersuggest. One is setting up a Google Ads account. Now that's free to set up and you don't need to run ads. If you set up the normal account, not the Express, then it allows you to go in there and you can look for the search volume, so the amount of people looking for those words, and you can compare them. So for example, you could compare online course with training, workshop with training, and you can see which most people are looking for. A lot of these places as well, you can tailor, so you can look in New Zealand only, or you could look in America only, you could look over the whole world. So Ubersuggest, Google Ads, Ask the Public are all free tools. And then you've got paid ones as well, for example, Moz, RF, SEMrush, Key Search, there's quite a few out there. And using these keyword research tools will allow you to look at the volume, the competition, and also help you identify other words. There is another sneaky way that you can use to find those other words, and that is if you go onto thesaurus.com and you search for synonyms. Synonyms are similar word, and you can get a whole range of other similar words that are similar to your key search, and yes, the bots know about them. So remember to choose long tail keywords or phrases rather than single words. Remember, more people are likely to write a few words or a full question into Google than just one word. Think about how you search for things as well. Think of the questions that you get asked in your business. These are all long tail keywords or phrases. Use the words your dream client uses, the how, the why, the when, the what, the who. Those are the questions that people often ask. Here's another couple of tips. Stalk your competition and find out what keywords they're ranking for and you're not. Or go after the same if they're low competition or high volume words. So how do you do this? This is a really easy way. There are some fancy ways, but a basic way is pop in your keywords into Google and see who comes up before you. Who's in position 1? Why are they there? Go back to your content, give it even more value, do it even better than they are. Another thing you can do is if you have a local service and you are looking for local people, check what people in your area call what you're trying to rank for, if there are local words that people would use. So, what can you actually do about this? I call this the keyword spreadsheet of awesomeness. So, you get a Google sheet, you get an Excel spreadsheet, you create a page on the spreadsheet for each page on your website. And the first thing you do is you think about what your dream client wants to know and achieve when they land on that page. You put down the keywords, the similar keywords, the phrases, the questions that they might ask to find those answers. You make a note of whether there are trends in words used. You list the type of content people are searching for. So we talked about that. Do you think they're looking for blogs? Are they looking for videos? Or all these different things, maps, comparisons, price checks. Group similar keywords together and then think, is there anything missing that you know your dream client is looking for? We're going to come back to that spreadsheet of awesomeness, but at the moment we're going to move on to the next part on the pyramid. We've got some really good foundations going on, and once we've got that content in place, we can look at the user experience. What do we mean by that? We mean the experience that somebody has when they come to your website. So it's presenting your information in the way your dream client wants to see it. Now remember, we're talking about people again. Bots aren't users. Write human-focused content at all times. So your keyword research tells you what content your dream client wants to see. It can also show you how they want to view this content. Do they want to read about it, watch a video, see an image or a map? Do they want to see online store listings? Try searching for your keyword and see what comes up in the search results. These are the little things that are called rich snippets. What you see presented to you is the favourite content that people are viewing. So you may search something up, say for example Katy Perry, and you will see that across the top, just under where you've written Katy Perry, in the search box, you will see a series of video snippets from YouTube or other sources. So we know that people who are searching for Katy Perry want to watch a video. So we need to optimize our video listing. Other things people might do is if you type in organic moisturizer, then you're likely to be presented with a list of shop options. So you've got to make the most of the SEO on your shop sites. If you're looking for the Smithsonian, the thing you might be given is a map. So if you've got a store, a physical bricks and mortar store, you might want to make sure that you've got maps on your page. So this gives you a really good idea. There are other things you can do to enhance the experience that people have when they come to your website. Make sure your website is mobile friendly. what I mean by that is mobiles are small, aren't they? Well, mine's small, some a bit bigger. And then you have tablets, which are a bit bigger again. But if I go onto my phone and I want to look at a website and it's not been made mobile friendly, I will be trying to read tiny, tiny texts with tiny little kind of tabs that I can't click on, which are designed to be looked at on a big TV screen monitor. Okay, so most of the drag and drop and the WordPress templates these days are mobile friendly, which means when I go onto my phone and I bring up a website, it fits the screen size, there are bits taken out, bits added, so that I can use it properly, easily on my phone. So the first thing is make sure that people aren't going onto your site going, this takes ages to load and I can't see it when I get there, so I'm not going to go there, because that's called bounce rate. And that means that people go to your site and they bounce straight back because they ain't liking what they're seeing. The other reason that causes people to bounce away is that your website takes too long to load, either on a computer or on a mobile. And one of the key reasons for that is your images. So all those pretty pictures, especially if you're e-commerce and you've got 5 pictures per product, make sure that you've compressed your images. So what I mean by that is you can either search on Google. See? Everybody does it. And you can look for image compressor, or if you're bringing up something in Canva, if you download it in a PNG image, it gives you the option to compress it. And that means that you're compressing its digital size. The other thing you can do is use the .jpeg rather than PNG image as well. It's a lower pixel size, it's a lower digital size. And all these things reduce the size of your website, so it helps it load a lot more quickly. 2 more things you can do. You can make your page names easy to understand. A common one is, well, what do I call my blog page? Call it blog. That's what people are trained to look for. They're trained to look for an about me page or a blog page. They're not really programmed into reading something called articles or news. But think again about your users. What are they used to seeing? What are they expecting to see? And the last thing is make it easy for people to navigate their way around your site. So call things logical names. Lead them on a journey through your website, but make it easy. Give them only a few choices. Don't confuse them. Make it an easy place for them to find the information they need. So these things kind of sound a bit basic maybe. We've not used too many technical terms in there, but they all drive more people to your site through improved SEO. We've made the content what they want. We've shown them the content that they want to see, and we've made it easy for them to find that information. And that's what SEO is all about. We can go and do a few more things now that we've got all the right content there. We can go and we can shout out about it. We can share links to our site. We can get other people's websites saying, hey, we like this one. We think you should go there. And the bots take notice of that. So links and link building is a great way to show that you're a reliable, reputable and expert site of authority, even if sometimes you don't feel it. People visit your site is what it means, and they liked it so much they had to share it on their website. Now, word of warning, beware of link sharing schemes. Some might be illegal. If you're being offered money to put links to somebody else's site on yours, please say no. It may seem tempting, but it's really not a good practice. But on the other side of that, you may get an email from somebody going, hey, we found your blog, we found your website, we think that your people would be interested in this. Would you like to include a link to our site on your blog about this? And if it seems like a good fit, by all means talk to them about it, because it can happen between people. Often they have businesses who their sole job is these link buildings. But as long as you're not being offered money for it, then if it seems like a good fit, have a chat with them. But there are things that you can do yourself. Now, a lot of these involve us getting out of our comfort zone. It involves getting our name around. So how do we do that? We blog. Okay, so every blog you write, have a short bio on it, link it back to other pages on your website. Those are internal links, but it grows people's interest in you so that when the time comes, you can be asked to guest blog. You can have your own podcast or YouTube channel, and again, those link back to your website, or you can be a podcast or video guest on somebody else's channel, and that's a great way to do things. You can speak at an event and you can collaborate. Other things you can do are creating your Google My Business account, creating social media accounts. But let's just flip up to those collaborations. When you collaborate people either on blogs or podcasts or videos, when they publish that on their platform or their website, they say, and I spoke to this person and here's their website. The more of those you do, you get a name. You get a digital name as well. So your name among your fans, among their fans, goes, oh, they spoke to this person. We like that person. So we're going to go and look at this person. So with your actual dream clients, it can put you in front of a huge new audience. But what the digital bots actually see is they go, oh, now she's talking about this here, and then she's talking about the same thing there, and that person that she's talking to talks about that. So they put you in a grouping with these people, and that improves your digital consistency. That's a fancy word, isn't it? So your digital consistency is the fact that on digital media, social networks, on YouTube, on blogs, on your website, you're talking the same message. Do you remember what we talked about at the beginning? We talked about having a really strong, clear brand message, and this, here we are, we're at level 5. It's still paying off. We're almost there. We're going to start diving behind the scenes, and we are going to get a little bit techie, but I'm going to show you what you can do and when it's time to go and call in an expert. So behind the scenes, we've talked about keywords. What do we do with them apart from using them on our websites, in our blogs? Well, we can use them in some of these behind the scenes words. Page titles and URLs, H1 text, meta descriptions, alt text. Katrina, stop. What are those words? So I'm not going to go into too much details here because we're covering the basics. I'm going to tell you what those words actually mean. Here we go. What's your URL? It's that thing that starts off with the https:// ... It's a name your web page has. Now, if you've got product or services, using a keyword here is a great idea. What's your page title? It's a short description that appears in the top of your website in an open tab. Or if you start typing the name into a search engine, if it tries to autofill, it will come up with that page title. What's H1? H1 is the main heading on a page. So if we think of it in font size, it's the big title at the top. Having one of those on your blogs or your pages is like a fluoro sign flashing away to Google that this is the topic of the page. Now, where are you going to find these things? Okay, so either you have paid somebody, a web developer, to go and set up your website, and they will have sorted all this out. You can always go and double check with them, but you can say, what's the keyword for that page? Is it in my page title? Is it in my H1? And is it in the URL? And I'll go, wow, you've been listening to Katrina. So you can just go and ask them. If you are on your own site, whether it's WordPress, a Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, Rocket Spark, then if you go into the SEO settings, you will see that they have little sections that you can fill in for all these. If you go onto Rocket Spark, you will see that you can edit your H1. And if you go into the style guide, it will drop down and it will tell you all these things. So they're not as confusing as they seem first of all. What's a meta description? Well, the meta description is this little preview text that comes up with the link on the Google search page. So here's a big black arrow pointing straight at it. It is a little description that if your dream client reads it and goes, oh, that's exactly what I want to read. So words for wellness, You've got exactly what I do there. So it's really clear that if somebody's got a wellness business and they want to do work on their website, emails and blogs, then I'm the person for them, aren't I? But you can see that. Now, that doesn't directly influence your SEO. What it influences is I am going to be attracting the right client who is going to stay on my site, who's going to interact with me and engage with me, and that works beautifully for my SEO ratings. The other thing that confuses people is this little thing called alt text. Now, that image there shows you what happens if you go to a website and they've put a picture in, but the link to the picture has got broken. These things happen. And we see this little image with a line through it, and then we've got some words. Now, those words are what's called the alt text. So Google algorithms, Google bots, they can't see pictures. So we have to put some words there to tell them what the picture's about. Generally, when you load up an image to your blog or your website page, you can set the alt text and it comes under the advanced setting buttons. So when you upload it, click wherever you'd click for advanced settings, and you should see a little box there called alt text. And you can add in a quick description of what that image is to do with. So that was to do with dog walking, and try and get a keyword in there. We started to get technical in the last bit, and I'm not going to talk too much more about that step because that is really enough to keep you going. We're on to that tiny little section at the top of that pyramid, and it's the coding and technical stuff. What confuses most people with SEO is that this is where we tend to begin. And because we haven't done any of the foundations, this just blows our mind because it is a completely different language. It's nothing to do with our business. It's nothing to do with how we help people. So it's a totally different language. And this is why we feel scared and confused, because this is all we find when we talk about SEO. So what I recommend you do is focus all your attention on the last 6 steps that we have just gone through, because this is a bit that's worth spending your money on. Okay, you can spend your money on the rest of it. I can do that quite happily for you. But if you're going to have to spend some money, this is where you spend it, but only after you've sorted the other sections first. And what do you ask people to look at? You want to ask them about 3 things: sitemaps, robot files, and schema or structured data. See, it's another language. Who can do this for you? Well, web developers can do it for you. So you can go to your web developer and say, "Hi, I'd like to talk to you about sitemaps, robot files, and schema and structured data. Have we got those set up on my site?" And then you smile sweetly and they go, "You've talked to Katrina again." So your web developer, if you had one set up your site, should be able to answer that for you and do it. They will charge you for it, but it's well worth it. The other people you can go to are SEO specialists. Where do you find those? Go by personal recommendation. So any network group that you've got, anybody who your web developer might know, please go by personal recommendation, because there's a huge variety of people out there and the services they offer. So it's best trying to find somebody that suits you, and don't be scared to talk to 1, 2 or 3 or more. The last thing you can do is Google it, because there is a wealth of information about how to get it all sorted yourself, and you may well be able to do it yourself. It depends on your time, your incentive, your knowledge, and also your fear of breaking things. I have a huge fear of breaking things because I've broken things before and it's not gone well. So you can Google some of these things quite easily. The robot files are the ones where you definitely want a professional to be doing it for you. And that was it. Have we done it all? We have. That was, where are we at? We're at 44 minutes of things that you can do. And the scary bit, we spent about 2 minutes on. There is so much there that you can do yourself. And remember your goal. Your goal is to grow your business through more of the right people finding you on Google search or any of the other search engines. But how do you know if it's working? You track your SEO. So you've actually got to make sure that what you're doing is paying off. And so if your goal is for more people to find you through organic, so not paid ads, Google or any other search engine searches, then SEO is what you need to start working on. It's a long game. It's not, or very unlikely, going to show very quick improvements in bringing people to you. You can track your SEO each month very simply by entering the keywords and seeing where on the list you pop up. It's basic. The information won't be particularly accurate, but it will give you an idea. The best way, the industry standard, is to use a free Google Analytics account, and that's by far the best way to track your SEO efforts. There are a ton of videos out there on YouTube showing you how to use it, so just go and look in the search engines for that. But Google Analytics is a fantastic way to track your SEO month by month to see where you're ranking. Google Search Console is another one. So we did say at the beginning that we are going to talk a little bit about SEO specifically for e-commerce sites as well. So you've got to go and do all these 7 things as well, but then there's a couple of things that you can do to show SEO some extra love. So you've got to do all of the above, plus don't repeat the manufacturer's product descriptions. You are just duplicating their content. You're in competition with them. You're not creating anything original of your own with your own keywords. So create your own descriptions. Use the manufacturers if you have to, but then build around it with your own keyword research. The third thing to do is don't overload your Shopify or your WooCommerce site with apps. It slows down your site and it makes it a nightmare for people to navigate through. The other thing to do is to create logical categories and not too many of them. So make it really obvious what products they're going to get there, and don't overload them with 50 million different choices of products and product categories. We're nearly there. I'm going to give you a checklist just to end up with, because that was a lot of information to take on board. So the first thing to do is to get to action. You're going to create your own brand message, the who you help, how you help them, what transformation you help them achieve, and how it looks in their lives. And you're going to write it clearly. You're going to decide on the goals you want your website to achieve for your business, and then you are going to deep dive and learn all you can about your client. Do not skip on this, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about a great way that you can do this shortly. It's the Catch Your Dream Client course. You're going to create your keyword spreadsheet of awesomeness that you can track your, you can put your keywords in there and you can use for tracking. You're going to identify keywords for each web page based on what your dream client wants to do or know when they get there. You're going to use those keywords in phrases to link to other web pages, and you're going to use keywords in your page titles and URLs, the meta tag descriptions, and you're going to create links to other pages in your website, and you're going to nurture links from other sites. And you're going to go and chat with a web developer about the nitty-gritty coding stuff once you've got all that done. Panic! What happens if you don't want to? You just want it done. I've got a couple of things that are going to help you right there. 2 things I can do for you. So you can just go, Katrina, that was really interesting. Go and do it for me. Number 1, we've got the website audit. So I can come in and I will audit the clarity of your website. I'll give you a fully actionable checklist, how you make it stand out to your dream client. So what we're doing there is we're looking at the content, your dream client, whoever is in there. And also I audit it against the story brand framework. This is one of the gold standards for user experience and brand message clarity. And we can add into that an SEO audit as well. So I'll double check what else you can do to improve SEO and give you again another actionable list of things to do to help you climb up the result list. I'll stalk your competitors, I'll give you some more keywords, I'll tell you where you're ranking already, anything interesting that might be going on in the back end of your site as well. All you need to do is email me, kat@wordsforwellness.com. But some people are DIYers, and that's where I began all this. And so I collaborated with Kat Soper at the Helpful Academy. That's the helpfulacademy.com, and we together put together this incredible course for you, which is not just SEO wildly friendly, but all your marketing information can come from this one document. This is a foundation for everything that you do in your business, and it's called Catch Your Dream Client. So we talked a lot about writing for people in this webinar. We talked about the fact that SEO starts with knowing your dream client, the words they use, who they are, what problems you can solve for them. And what Catch Your Dream Client does is allow you to learn all you can about them, so you can laser point your marketing and your SEO to attract the right clients. As I said, it's not just for SEO, it's for everything that you do in your marketing, your product pages, your web pages, your blogs, your emails, everything comes out of this foundation course. There's another course that Kat Soper at the Helpful Academy wrote. She wrote it with Iona Elwood-Smith, who is a web strategist, and it is an online course again. And they'll hold your hand, guide you through fully search engine optimizing your website to improve your page search, your search page rankings, and also for those keywords, and motivate your client to click through to your website. So this is a great course as well, written by two awesome women. And that's it. If you've got any questions, you can always email me. You can comment below. You can get in touch with me through Words for Wellness. That's our Facebook page. But let me know how it's going with you. And look, did you see how easy a lot of SEO can be? Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your day. And as I said before, if you've got any comments, any questions about SEO, if I didn't cover anything, then just drop me a line at kat@wordsforwellness.com. See you later.